And if there is one brand ambassador, that the man himself about the whole story, and then we'll take you further with our future.
Started with value addition in the early 90s when we started the first 100% export oriented unit for instant coffee in India. Before that, the only two major big multinational brands were there, manufacturers. So this was Asian Coffee was the first non-multinational, first generation entrepreneur starting this plant, which started in Tupran with only 1500 ton capacity. First time Indian instant coffee was exported to United States and to Europe in 1990. So when we started, this was a 1500 ton capacity plant. India was not even in the map of instant coffee manufacturing because all the 3 factories or 4 factories put together, we had a less than 5,000 ton capacity. Today, India has crossed more than 50,000 tons of instant coffee manufacturing. Out of which 25,000 proudly belongs to CCL family. So when we started this company, the CCL products, it was done in Guntur, was a 3,600 ton capacity, and the same factory today produces, has a capacity of 20,000 tons with all kinds of instant coffee. You name the instant coffee is produced. We brought the first freeze drying plant in the country in 2004. Then subsequently we went on expanding. Today we are into more than 80 countries in the world, and we thought it's the right time to launch a product in India, and we are making a small beginning. We are sure with our expertise in coffee, more than 80 countries are drinking our coffee, Indian coffee, and the kind of blends we do. I think you will know more about it. I'll leave the floor. You can have any questions. Thank you very much.
The first few years of operation in 1995, our company started with one product selling to 2 customers. Year on year, a solid foundation was built, 1 cup at a time. Once we started understanding the market requirements, we slowly started investing and creating new products like agglomerated coffee and then subsequently freeze-dried coffee, which no one else in the country had done. When the global market started opening up in India, we were poised to start capturing the market. Over the last 15 years, apart from expanding our global presence in Vietnam and Switzerland, we have added multiple products into our portfolio, including microground coffee, functional coffees, flavored coffees, 3-in-1s, 2-in-1s, premixes, cold brew, instant cold brew, and so on. With this wide range of product offerings, we were able to truly become a one-stop shop for anyone who has any coffee requirements in the world. Considering that we know very well what consumers want in more than 90 countries, we felt that this is the right time for us to use our vast experience to create the best products customized for the Indian consumer and market the same under the Continental Coffee brand. More about this, I think our CEO Praveen Jaipuria will explain. Thank you.
News and achievement. And over last 24 years, as Chairman Sir and MD was talking about, that we have evolved from a 3,600 tons per annum to now almost 50,000 tons per annum coffee and coffee related products. As Srishant mentioned, we do all kinds of coffee. You name it and we have it. So that's a customer-centric approach that Continental Coffee has always strived for. That any kind of coffee, right from roasted beans to liquid coffee, freeze-dried, spray-dried, any kinds of coffee. And Continental Coffee has stayed up with the times. And that has been one of the success stories why Continental Coffee has done so well. That whatever the demand has been there in the world market, Continental Coffee has evolved to cater to that demand. And therefore it makes us world's largest private label coffee manufacturer. We don't know much about, because we don't talk a lot about ourselves, but that's the truth in front of you, that Continental Coffee is world's largest private label coffee manufacturer. And you would have seen this number 1000 on this placard. It tells you that 1000 cups of Continental coffee are being consumed every second across the globe. So that's the kind of scale that we operate in. And keeping that in mind, as Srishant was mentioning, since we knew a lot about coffee and we have catered to 90 countries and we knew the way coffee is being drunk in those companies, we thought this is the right time to come to the domestic market and launch our products in the domestic market as well. So I'll take you through what all things we are doing in the domestic market. But let's first see what's the market looks like in India. So if you see the domestic market, in India, the instant coffee market is approximately 2000 crores. Yeah? So that's the instant coffee market, which is growing at a CAGR of 8 to 10% for the last 3 years. And out of this, 65% of the contribution comes from South India. So that's about the instant coffee. Then we have got a filter coffee market, which is approximately 500 crores. And it is pretty stagnant as of now. And most of it, the maximum amount of sale, almost 95% of the sale, comes from South India. And then there is this third emerging segment, which is the pre-mix coffee, wherein you just mix coffee into hot water and you get a good cup of coffee. That's at a very nascent stage. The market is just started beginning to develop. And we have a firm belief that going forward, this could be a future of coffee in India. Let's also look at some trends in the Indian coffee market. So if I were to look at some trends in Indian coffee market, the out-of-home coffee consumption is growing, thanks to these coffee chains that have come up in the last 15 years. The out-of-home consumption of coffee has increased significantly in Indian market. And what these chains have done is that it has made us realize what a good cup of coffee is. Yeah. So now we know all different kinds of coffees, the cappuccinos and the mochachinos of the world, and fresh coffee and bean to cups. And suddenly we realize that, okay, there is a lot more to coffee than what we have been having for all these years. So that has led to, and that will lead to, eventually demand for superior coffee. That demand will definitely go up. And convenience and affordability will drive category expansion. That will be a trend that will come. So why I say so, if you see perceptibly and even pricing wise, coffee has been seen as a premium product to other hot beverages like tea. Coffee is always seen a little more premium. And therefore the penetration of coffee has not been so much as what tea has penetrated in India. And but what we realize that if we make coffee affordable to people, the penetration could go much faster. So that's another trend that will catch up in India soon. So keeping all these things in mind, the market for instant coffee, filter coffee, the growing trends, we thought this is the right time to launch our brands in Indian market. And we launched our brands in the Indian market in the past few months. So that's our portfolio. You can see in instant coffee segment, we have got 3 kinds of coffee. We have got Continental Extra, which is largely catering to the South Indian audience. It's a coffee chicory blend, which appeals to the taste palette of the southern part of India. Then we have got Continental Special, which is the 100% pure coffee. And then we have got Continental Black Edition, and it's the freeze-dried coffee. And the reason we call it Black Edition, because freeze-dried as a concept, since there is no heat involved in this, is a much superior blend of coffee which gives you a very good aroma and very good flavor, and it's best drunk black. So that's our freeze-dried coffee. Then we entered the filter coffee market as well with 2 of our blends. Continental Malgudi 80-20 and Continental Malgudi 60-40. So because filter coffee is a traditional, coffee drunk in traditional homes of South India, so we have kept the branding like that, which evokes a lot of, traditionalism in the minds of the consumer. And then we have got Continental This, THIS, and it's a premix coffee targeted towards, the young millennials who are looking for convenience and are looking for a cafe-like experience at home. So that's targeted towards them. And we have priced it interestingly. I talked about affordability. So we have priced it very conveniently at 10 rupees, so that you can have one good cup of coffee at just 10 rupees. So if you can see, we have tried launching the products keeping in mind our vision of providing superior, convenient and affordable coffee to consumers. So that's our motto.